Rupert Murdoch already controls a mighty media empire that ranges from Fox Television and the Fox News Channel and 20th Century Fox to the Wall Street Journal and the New York Post. Now he's made an $80 billion bid to buy Time Warner, which includes TBS, TNT, HBO, the Warner Brothers studio, and CNN, which under the plan would be sold off. Joining us now from New York is Charlie Gasparino, senior correspondent for the Fox Business Network. And Charlie, Time Warner's board has turned down this bid. Is that in part because it does not want to be sold to the brash and audacious founder of the Fox News channel?
It's always wonderful reporting on your own boss here. But I would say this. My little contribution to this thing before I got thrown out of Sun Valley last week was I reported that there was broad-based interest in Time Warner, that once Time Warner, Jeff Bewkes, began selling off various parts of it, you know, the cable division, the magazine part, it was down to a certain core of content like HBO, CNN. There's a lot of interest in this, particularly in Silicon Valley, companies like Google and Amazon. The stock shot up 3%. We didn't know that Mr. Murdoch put his bid in already. We knew that there was interest on the part of Mr. Murdoch. But I think that's really his end game. That Time Warner's end game is to get this bid, whether it's Mr. Murdoch's, whether it's Google's, whether it's Amazon's, as high as possible. I think, you know, Mr. Murdoch went into this based on my sources that he knew that they would reject the initial one, so he would have to come back again. And this is a guy that plays
pretty common.
This guy plays his game. Mr. Murdoch, he knows what's going on 15 steps ahead.
But culturally speaking, do you think there's an aversion to Rupert Murdoch in the elite halls of the Time Warner boardroom?
Maybe. There's no aversion to money, though. And that's the only thing that matters here. And I will tell you this. I can't tell you who's going to ultimately win. You know, when I talk to my sources out there, they tell you that one thing you don't bet against, you don't bet against Mr. Murdoch. He's one of the best in the business at this. However, I can't guarantee he's going to win this.
He may lose. In fact, there's a kind of a myth here because he tried to get the Wall Street Journal. The family that owned it said no, and finally
different
yes.
ball game, though. Different ball game. This is a
public
stock
company, much bigger game.
But not only that, this is a company that's done well. Its stock has done well, and it could do even better, and it could get another bid. I mean, I really think, based on my sources, I'm a little scared to say opinion here, based on that last segment.
Go right ahead.
But based on my sources, that Mr. Bewkes' endgame is to get somebody else involved. Get a Google involved, get an Amazon involved, and let the bidding begin. This company is not going to go for $80 a share. The only thing I could tell you, and again, what I reported last week, is that this company's been in a sale since they started like jettisoning various parts of it. And the only thing I can tell you, it's not going to be owned by the current owner. It's going to be owned by somebody else.
There's been a lot of talk about Murdoch just wants to get bigger, but of course HBO is kind of a crown jewel, and the sports franchise of Time Warner would also be useful. But federal regulators could object to this on antitrust grounds, and anticipating that, Murdoch's already said whether he would sell off CNN. If that were to happen, would ABC, would CBS be interested? What would happen to CNN in your view?
Yeah, I mean, CBS would they've already said it. I believe Les Moonves has been on the record that he's the CEO of CBS is basically saying that he's interested in it. Yeah, CNN may not have great ratings, but it does pretty well. It makes money, and it's got a brand, and so it's definitely going to be sold. But you know, here's the thing: the bottom line is this: this company, no matter who buys it, is gone. This company has been takeover bait literally since they sold off the magazine part, and it's a matter of who.
I predict that story is not over. You've made that clear. Charlie Gasparino will probably have you back to talk more about it.
Love
Thanks.
to.
Up next, John McCain takes on the media coverage of the border crisis and the blame game over Iraq. And later, a CNBC crusader gets slapped down by a reporter from CNBC.